Hello, welcome back to the Barrett channel. Today I am actually somewhere where I haven't been before to do one of these talk videos. This is probably the busiest place I've ever done one, so I'm probably going to get distracted a couple times. I'm in a place called Dongmen in Shenzhen. It's a very famous place in Shenzhen for its street food and things like that. Let me know down in the comments if you've been there before, because I've been here a couple of times. It usually gets really busy at night time because there's a lot of street food going on, a lot of people sort of in the street doing skateboarding and you know, just having fun in the streets and having get-together. It's a good place to have a get-together, especially in the evening. But right now it's pretty heaving, as you probably already know from our channel. Shenzhen is getting kind of back to normal nowadays. This video, I'm just gonna sort of get straight into it. So 2 months ago, what was being said around the world? Family and friends contacted me, come on, get out of China, get out of China. You know, everyone was starting to get fearful of my situation here, or people that I knew back home anyway. You know, you really need to get out of China as soon as you can, and then bam. Next thing you know, the UK government is saying all UK citizens in China need to be getting out ASAP. Stuff was starting to hit the fan, you know, and then I'm extremely glad that I didn't, obviously, as you can imagine, because of the situation arising in European countries. I just think the irony is pretty mad, thinking about how the UK was saying to leave China, and then seeing how the authorities have dealt with it here compared to how they've dealt with it there. It's just like, if I'd have gone back, I'd have been furious with the government, absolutely furious. But anyway, that's besides the point. So again, 2 months ago you had all foreigners trying to leave China. You know, some stayed as well, some sort of thought that staying put was the best decision too, including me and my dad both thought that. There were even Chinese students that were trying to get out of China to go back to their universities abroad. A lot of them were, because there was country quarantine restrictions, a lot of them were even going through a second country to be able to avoid that, just to get back to their universities. So then, what do? You fast forward 2 months, yeah, and then it's a first in, first out sort of thing, you know. You fast forward 2 months and you start seeing that China is fully getting back to normal. Pretty much everything's opened up now. About 90% of things are open. The only things that aren't are things like cinemas, you know, bars and clubs and all the things where a lot of people are getting together. But everything, like all the restaurants are open, all the shops are open. People are in high spirits. You know, I didn't really see the spirits drop that much, even when it was in full sort of circulation. I think the Chinese culture is very much just, it's very much just get your head down, get on with what you got to do, and not much has changed. Not much has changed. I haven't really seen. I've heard of a couple of friends back home saying, "Oh yeah, you can really feel like the atmosphere at home now is a bit dampened. You know, not as many people are out. People are sort of, everyone's walking around a little bit worried and stuff." Here, I've not really seen that at all. It's just been, you know, the citizens take the government's advice, trying to stay indoors as much as they can, but I've not really seen anyone complaining about it. Obviously, I don't speak the language fluently, so, you know, there might be a bit of it going on without me realising. You may have heard as well, in foreign countries, in the Western world, etc., I saw news, and actually from friends. I'm going down a bit of a sort of boring way this way. Let me head back into the mixer and see what's going on. I hope you can hear me anyway. I've got this line mic on, hopefully you can hear me. Let's just go through these stores a little bit. Let me turn you around as well so you can see what's going on. So, yeah, you heard in other countries, Chinese people were getting targeted a little bit. You know, people were trying to stay away from them. Not everybody, but there was a little bit of racial discrimination going on. And now, I can't say that I've actually been a victim myself of racial discrimination at all, but you'd think in people's heads it's totally the opposite now, because in China they're totally paranoid of foreigners bringing it back in, because the authorities and the citizens have worked so hard to get rid of it now the biggest risk is actually foreigners bringing it back in, and most of the cases are seen as, like I just said, foreigners bringing it back in. So tables have turned, and I now feel like really lucky to be inside China rather than in the UK. I've got a friend that's in the UK right now, and he went back because of what was going on, and now, you know, he can't come back. One, because flight prices have gone through the roof to come back to China, and two, well, I thought I just got fooled by those mannequins. I thought they were 4 guys just staring at me, and two, because there's pretty much quarantine restrictions from any badly affected country coming back in now. For example, Beijing airport, they're actually quarantining every single person that comes in for 14 days, no matter where you're from. So that's a massive, you know, precaution being taken. And I'm sure, you know, other provinces and other airports will be following suit, because that does tend to happen when the Beijing government put something out there. I'm a little bit concerned, well, me and my dad are both a little bit concerned about Shanghai, because as you know, I've mentioned a few times now, we are visiting there very soon, and as there is this rising sort of anxiety about foreigners bringing it back in, the authorities are pretty hot on foreigners at the moment, and with the lack of Chinese language from me and my dad, things get lost in translation using the apps on your phone, so we could run into a little bit of trouble. What we're going to do is write out a document, like a laminated document, saying like, this is why we've come here, we've been in Shenzhen for the past, you know, X amount of time. You know, I went to Malaysia like 2 months ago, but that obviously won't be a problem now. But as we saw a week ago when I got stopped in that taxi, you know, it seems very obvious that they're quite high alert for, you know, non-Chinese ethnicities at the moment, which is a little bit concerning. So I'm hoping that we don't go and get stuck in quarantine straight away, because that would be awful. Maybe you can let us know down in the comments if you have any advice, or if you know sort of any people that have just gone into Shanghai, and if they've flown internally, if they flew internally from another province in China, and see sort of what happened to them, because we're a little bit, you know, worried about what's going to happen. But hopefully it's all good. Because I'm really excited for this trip and to do these hotel reviews, and I'm sure you guys are excited for some of the videos that are coming out of there too. There was actually one student now that desperate to come back to China that they've actually paid $5,500 US for a business class ticket from London to somewhere in China, I'm not sure. But this is like, especially with the Chinese mindset of like getting sick and stuff, they do worry about it more than what I see, more than the average Western culture does. God, they do blast out that music, don't they? They don't mess about with that. In my opinion, music like that just deters me away from the store. No way does that make me want to go inside. Madness. Anyway, yeah, people are just super desperate to get back here now because it's seen as one of the safest places. It's crazy how fast this is all changing. And to be here and see it firsthand when it was like on the up here, and now it's like on, it's just crazy experience. I think in 20 years time, you know, obviously no one's going to forget this time, because it's going to affect the whole world a lot in the next couple of years. It could take a lot of companies years, and like the economy years, to build back up to where it was before. But it's extremely interesting. I think in 20 years time, this is going to be quite a story to tell. And I think it's a time where a lot of countries can look at each other and learn from each other. It's definitely a lot of, I think it's going to open a lot of eyes towards China, to be honest. Because obviously at first you were hearing, you know, isolation, it's a dictatorship, it's you know, people's rights are being taken away from them like that. And then now, bam, you know, unprecedented measures for Europe and the US, like cancelling flights from different places, quarantining people, and the titles for the news, the news headlines for those lockdowns is a little bit different, as you probably already know. Anyway, I'm very good at this blabbing on about random stuff, and I feel like I flip between different conversations very fast without context, so I'm sorry. I hope this was possible for you to follow, and you got a nice look at Dongmen Market anyway. This is a time where I don't want people to be going, haha, you know, I'm sure you're not anyway, but I don't want people to be taking sides and going, haha, you know, we did things right, you're not. This is a time where it needs to be a global effort to better things at the moment and to get through this terrible situation. Yeah, it's let's hope it can sort of improve as fast as possible. Anyway, that's going to wrap this up. That is going to be the end of this video. I hope you did like me blabbing on